So guys, welcome back to our class today, and I'm going to speak about part-time taxi driving because you guys, you know very well that in as much as I don't drive taxi quite a lot, I have all the required documents. I have all the approvals. That is my Bolt account, fully approved. If I want, I can go online right now. I also have Uber. Let me just show you. That is my Uber account, fully approved. If I want, I can open the app right now and start driving. But because I have another job, I rarely drive. But when I have a chance and I want to just explore the market, I can go online and drive because I also have a car that is fully onboarded on this platform and I use it privately, but I can put it online and drive the next minute. I have also employed two other drivers that pay me some money, so I know how the business works. But for this video, I wanted to give you some numbers from my part-time driving experience. So on Sunday, so let me just check here. Uh, Sunday date 15. So Sunday 15th of June, I did part-time driving. It was actually on a Sunday at around 3 p.m., actually 2:30 p.m., and I drove until 5:30. So I will give you my experience and the money I made driving part-time for 3 hours on a Sunday. And this actually will reflect to the reality and the truth that you have been so told by other taxi drivers. Because what you need to do is just to extrapolate the 3 hours for someone doing full-time. Maybe they would drive for 12 hours. And then if they are working 6 days in a week, then you multiply that by 6, and then you will get the salary of a full-time taxi drivers as an estimate. So these are the numbers that I want us to work with. I have already noted them down. I can show you my Bolt app because I did almost all the trips with Bolt. So this is how it happened. So on a Sunday, so Sunday is the best day to do part-time driving for me because it is a busy day for people moving around from church to picnic events to to drinking parties and many other things that happen. And also on Saturday there is normally no traffic, so you will enjoy driving without wasting a lot of time on traffic. And I drove from let me just to be sure, from 2:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. So that is 3 hours. Okay. That is my 3 hours experience on Sunday. And then I did 50 kilometers. And I'll tell you how I do. Always, I'm very, very keen on monitoring my car's, parameters. So before I left home, because I put the app actually at home. I put it on at home and then I reset the distance to start from 0. So from the time I left home and the time I came back home, I drove for 50 kilometers. You get my point? And this includes the last trip I didn't actually drop someone in my house. I had to drive like 10 kilometers from, because at 5:30 was my set time to close the driving. So I had to drive 10 kilometers without anyone as I was getting back home. So the 50 kilometers includes the total distance when I had a client and when I did not have the client. And that is what we are going to use for this calculation. So very quickly, I will take you through the trips I did, how much I was paid, and then we narrow down into the net income. So we'll deduct the cost of fuel and we deduct the commission that I paid back to Bolt. So just to tell you another fact is that I had Uber and Bolt on, but for the 3 hours, Uber did not give me a single trip. All the trips came through in via Bolt. So Bolt always is the most utilized app in Kenya. I don't know the experience with the other drivers, but through the many years I have been, using these taxi apps as a driver, at any given time, Bolt will beat Uber hands down. Out of 10 trips, I will get 1 or 2 Ubers. The rest will be Bolt. And then maybe a little cab here and there or Faras. But Bolt, 90% of the trips will come from Bolt. Okay? So these are the trips I did. The first trip I did it from Zimmerman because I actually dropped someone to my church and then I did put on my app from there. So from Zimmerman, I dropped someone at Garden City, and that trip was the total trip displayed on the app. The price was 410. Okay, the client paid me 330 because he had a discount of 80 shillings. Okay, so here I'm going to put the trip, the client, and the discount for every trip so that you can know how much money was sent to me, how much money was retained through discount, and how much money the client paid me. So that was the trip number 1. The trip number 2, I proceeded to pick someone straight from Garden Estate and I dropped them in Dandora, actually at Dandora Stadium. The trip costs was 450 and the client paid me 360 and they had a discount of 90 shillings. Okay? The third trip, so that's the second. We are going to the third trip. I did carry someone from Dandora all the way to Donholm, a trip of 600, and then the client paid me 480 shillings and they had a discount of 120. And the fourth trip was from Donholm to Tawala. The total cost was 390. The client paid me 310. He had a discount of 80 shillings. And then the last trip was within Utawala. Okay. The trip cost was 240. It was someone from the Naivas Utawala. So the client paid me 190. And then he had a discount of 50 shillings. So when I add this up, you will find that the total money I was supposed to collect was 2,090 shillings. But because of the discount, I collected less. I collected 1,670. Okay? And the money that I never collected because the client had a discount, had maybe a 20% discount, a 10% discount, was 420 shillings. Okay? So, ideally, this is the money that came into my M-Pesa. But of course, I want to admit that quite a number of clients, I would say around 3 out of the 6 trips I did, is it out of the 5, 3 people, of course, they tipped me something. So I think there is one who added me 50 shillings, another one 20, and another one like 10 shillings. But that is not the matter that I want to bring in here. But I had received more than this in terms of the total collection. But from the app, if I open Bolt, this is the numbers you will see. Normally, Bolt takes 21% commission. Okay? So in terms of commission, they take 21%. So meaning it is 21% of 2090. Okay? So they were supposed to take a commission of around 438. If you do 21% of this one, I was supposed to pay back Bolt. If no client had a discount, I was supposed to be paid 2,090 shillings. And then from my M-Pesa, I was supposed to send back to Bolt 438 shillings. But because they already withheld 420 shillings through discount, you will find the difference between this and this. I was supposed to pay them in my app around 20 shillings only. That is actually the balance that was showing inside my app. Okay, so the math that we are going to say here is that at the end of the 3 hours, I made literally, let's say 1,600. That's my net after commission. Because there is no further commission I'm going to pay to Bolt because they already pre-deducted their commission through this. So the 70 bob, we can forget about it and say that's what I will pay Bolt. as the extra commission. So out of the 1600 that I made in 3 hours, I told you I did 50 kilometers. I did a trip of 50 kilometers. So my vehicle normally averages around 18 kilometers with 1 liter. Okay? And 1 liter is 200 shillings. 200 shillings. I hope you guys were together. So for me to cover the 50 kilometers, I will need, on average, I would say three liters, because 3 liters will give me, let me quickly check my calc. I'm not very good with off-head calculations. So you calc, come here. So we are saying that I needed, so it's like 50 kilometers divided by 3. So yeah, so if we are doing 18 times 3, I'll get 54 kilometers. Okay, so around 3 liters, as I had mentioned. So my total cost of fuel will be like 600 shillings. Okay, so if you deduct now the 600 shillings, I made myself 1,000 shillings in 3 hours. I hope you can see that. 1,000 shillings in 3 hours. That's what it means to be a part-time taxi driver. What do you think? So if I can rub a small part of this, just wait a bit there. We just do some extrapolations. So, yep. So those are the months that you will do as a driver, but not the month that you will do as the car owner. Because if you are the driver, you don't have any other costs, because wear and tear is the cost that will be borne by the car owner, but not the driver. So we are saying that in 3 hours, I made 1,000. A lot of drivers drive for 12 hours. So if you multiply in 12 hours, we have 3 hours. So you have to multiply by 4, meaning that a lot of drivers, by the end of 4 hours, at the end of 12 hours, they will make themselves 4,000 in net profit. Okay? And then we are saying that driver, for example, he has a partner to pay. Maybe the partner is asking for 1,500. Okay? So if you subtract here, if the driver gives the partner 1,500, how much will he keep? He will have around 2,500 for himself. Okay? And I can continue rubbing here so that we can do some further math. So that is 2,500 for himself. That guy will drive 6 days in a week. Okay? So multiply by 6. So 0, 0, 0 because of 30, that is 12, 15. So in a week, he has the potential to make around 15,000 for himself. That is the driver himself, after paying the car owner and paying commission. How many weeks are there in a month? So 0, 0, 0. That's 0 because of 20. And then there you have 60,000. Okay? So that driver will be able to make himself a net of around 60,000. Of course, days are not the same. Okay? There are days, and also remember, I have said that this driver will drive for 6 hours. No, not for 6 days. But the 7th day, that is on a Sunday, he can choose to drive, in the morning or in the evening, but the partner does not ask for money from the driver on the 7th day. So this is for you guys to tell me what you think, but I'm giving you my experience from the trip I did on Sunday, 15th of June, 2025. So that's the money I made, 1,000. If you ask me whether it is good money for me, absolutely not. It is not something that makes my heart happy. Okay? Because it means that in 3 hours I have made 1,000. So it means that I'm making like 300 shillings in an hour, which is actually not good value for my time. At least that is what I can say. But for others, that could be very, very good amount of money to make in 3 hours. So let me know what are your thoughts. Cheers and bye bye.